Hi, I'm Victor, the main organizer of the Full Stack Flutter conference. On this channel we publish the best talks from the conference every week throughout the year, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. I'm also the founder of ServerPod, so if you want to build your backend in Dart, make sure to check that out too. Ashita Prasad is the founder of Flutter Gems, one of the largest Flutter websites. She's also co-creator of API Dash and has been speaking at numerous conferences. In this talk, she explores the Flutter package ecosystem, discussing trends, popular packages, and emerging patterns. Let's dive in.
Hi everyone, I am Ashita, founder of Flutter Gems and API Dash and a Dart and Flutter GD. In this talk, I will discuss the current state of the Packageverse, which consists of all Dart and Flutter packages. So let's get started. Today, Dart and Flutter ecosystem has more than 50,000 packages. And in this graph, you can see how this all started with just a few Dart packages. Now from this graph, you can see that starting 2018, the number of packages that were being added every quarter increased substantially, and this was because of the advent and popularity of Flutter. Now, let's dig a bit deeper into the number of packages. Out of the 52,758 packages in the Packageverse, around 4.7k packages are discontinued or spam. 3.4k packages have been marked as unlisted. 9.8k packages have still not been migrated to null safety. 2.4k packages are still not compatible with Dart 3, and around 7,000 packages have not been updated in the last 2 years. This brings us to the current active list of packages amounting to 25,152. Now we'll move to address a key concern that every Flutter developer has while adding a package to their project. Should they go ahead and use the package? What if the maintainer abandons it? So how can we address this concern? Let us take a look at some data to be able to answer this question. So as you can see from the chart, the abandonment rate is very high for packages that are less than a year old. So if you pick a package that is more mature, which means that packages that are more than a year old, the abandonment risk decreases significantly. So now I have crunched the numbers, and these are the top 6 categories based on the average of likes received by the top 5 packages in each category. So when we talk about Flutter, the most sought after package solution that people are looking for is state management. Now what it means? It just refers to the process of managing the data or state of an application. Followed by on-device NoSQL database for persisting application data. Then we have the animation and transition category, which consists of packages that helps us create beautiful animated effects in our app. Followed by HTTP client and utilities to integrate REST APIs, as APIs have become the fundamental building block for any application. Next are packages belonging to the Firebase ecosystem, and finally packages and utilities for images. So now we'll take a deeper look into each category one by one, starting with state management. So some of the widely used state management packages that are still going strong are Provider, Block, Riverpod, Getit, Mobex, and others. Now, let us explore the persistent NoSQL data store category, which contains packages that help you persist application data on your device. So, based on the requirements of your Flutter app, you might deal with two types of NoSQL databases. One, which is the key value database, which is a type of database that uses a simple key value store to be able to store data. This key is then used to look up the value, which can be anything from a simple data type like an integer or a string to a more complex data type like an object or an array. And the second type of NoSQL database is an document database, wherein the data is stored as JSON documents. Now, this is in contrast to a relational database, which stores its data in tables, and document databases are typically more flexible than relational databases because they do not require a schema to be defined upfront, which means that the data can be added to the database without having to first define what the data is. So in this category, some of the most popular well-known packages offering persistent NoSQL data storage are Shared Preferences, Flutter Secure Storage, ObjectBox, Sembast, Isar, and others. Now let's move to the next popular category, which is all about packages that help you add animations and transitions. These packages help in adding quick, complex, and customized animations in your app and create a more engaging and interactive user experience. So some of the most used packages in this category include animations, Lottie, Simple Animations, Flutter Animate, Page Transition, and others. So APIs have become the backbone of modern software development. Our next category, HTTP client and utilities, contains packages that can help you create an HTTP client, make HTTP API requests, cache server responses, and provides various other HTTP utilities in your Flutter app. So the two most popular packages that are used by Flutter developers to achieve this are HTTP and DO. So now we move to our next popular category, Firebase. Firebase is a flexible, scalable backend as a service or BaaS for mobile and web Flutter applications. It offers real-time data synchronization, user authentication, NoSQL database, cloud storage, static hosting, and other useful backend services. Some of the popular packages that provide Firebase integrations are Firebase Auth, Firebase Messaging, Cloud Firestore, Firebase Core, Firebase Storage, Firebase Analytics, and others. So we already have an image widget in Flutter that can be used to display images in your Flutter app. But often we would like to have more functionality, like zooming images, resizing images, caching them, manipulating images, and adding effects to images, or even have support for other image formats like SVG, apart from the commonly supported JPEG, PNG, GIF, WebP, and other image formats. So our next category, image, contains a list of Flutter packages that can help you add these functionalities. And some of the most popular use packages in this category are Cached Network Image, Flutter SVG, Photo View, Extended View, Image, and others. So now moving on, we will cover some emerging categories that have seen major traction in the last 2 years. These categories are ChatGPT, LLM, and generative AI, backend, BAS, and web server, background effects, gradients, and shaders, plots and visualization, localization, internalization, and translation, and Python, Rust, and other language interface. So, generative AI has unlocked a world of endless possibilities for developers seeking to add innovative and artistic elements to their application. Everyone wants to add AI in their applications now. And so, this category, generative AI, ChatGPT, and LLM, has seen one of the strongest growth within the last 2 years. Some of the popular packages in this category are Google Generative AI, Dart OpenAI, Flutter Gemini, LangChain, and others. So you should definitely go ahead and check out some of the features of one of the top packages in this category, Google Generative AI, which can help you easily add AI powered features in your applications. So now let's see about our next category. So developers have always been on a lookout for new Firebase alternatives, which has led to the growth of popularity of backend as a service, self-hosted backend, and web server packages. You should definitely go ahead and check out projects like Dartfrog, ServerPod, and AppWrite that have received great traction from the community and offer BAS, and you can even set up your own backend, that too in Dart. Next, a recent development was the ability to add custom shaders in Flutter apps to provide rich graphical effects beyond those that are provided by the Flutter SDK. So, a shader is a program authored in a small Dart-like language known as GLSL and is executed on the user's GPU. And they can be added to a Flutter project by listing them in the pubspec.yaml file and obtained using the fragment program API. But you can skip most of these nitty-gritties thanks to some of the awesome packages that can be directly used to add effects and shaders in your app. So you can check out some cool packages in this category like animated glitch, Flutter shaders, shaders buffers that can make your life easier. So the next emerging category is plots and visualization. And this category includes packages that can help you represent data as easily digestible visuals. They can be used to show trends, patterns, and relationships. And different types of charts are better suited for different types of data. For example, a line chart is often used to show how a variable changes over time, while a bar chart is better suited for comparing different groups of data. So you can check out some emerging charting packages like Graphic, Flutter Graph View, and Interactive Chart. As developers are shipping more and more Flutter apps for a global audience, it has become paramount to ease the process of internationalization, localization, and translation. And this category has also seen immense growth over the last 2 years. Some emerging packages like Slang and ARB Translate provide utilities to make this process easier along with a plethora of other packages. The quest for seamless integration between different programming languages is a never ending pursuit. Developers often find themselves in situations where they need to bridge the gap between two languages to unlock the full potential of their code. And this brings us to our final emerging category, other language interface. So you can check out some of the popular packages that facilitate integration of various programming languages like Rust using Flutter Rust Bridge and Python using Serious Python and more such amazing packages. With this, we have come to an end of this talk. Do check out Flutter Gems to easily find Dart and Flutter packages, and you can connect with me on Twitter and LinkedIn. I also run a Dart and Flutter community on Discord. You can scan the QR code shown on the screen to join and ask any queries that you have. Thank you.